has always been a certain level of disconnect between influencers and the people who follow them. But lately, the gap feels less like a disconnect and more like an actual canyon. And every week, it seems like another influencer wakes up in her luxury home, flips on her LED camera setup, presses record, and accidentally exposes just how little awareness she has about the world outside her content bubble. But the video that broke the internet this week, the one that genuinely pushed people past irritation and into collective outrage, came from influencer Jaclyn Hill, one of the biggest names in the online beauty space, complaining about her engagement.
I want to talk about something that I feel like maybe is a little controversial, maybe not, but I feel like no one really talks about it on social media. At least I don't see this conversation being had, but I think about this every day. And this is coming from like an old school beauty content creator. I started on YouTube 14 years ago, like been here for every single era, consistently uploading, downloading every new platform, like watched the birth of TikTok, you know, like I remember when Instagram became a thing, I was already on YouTube. We're in such a weird place on social media as content creators where I am like fighting. I feel like I am like trying to run through mud to connect with my followers at this point. I feel like there are so many bots and I feel like these apps are now controlling who views my videos. And I feel like I get punished and penalized for not showing up and creating all the time. In the sense of I took off, like I didn't post a TikTok, I think for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe like, sorry, shit, life happens. I've been doing this for 14 years. Maybe I'm a little burnt out, God forbid. But then I come back to TikTok and it's like, I'm put in like this TikTok jail where my views are complete shit. Like it's one thing if my engagement is shit, meaning like maybe my views are high, but my comments are low and the likes are low. It's like
not her lack of income, not her declining business, not an actual algorithm problem, but rather the fact that people simply weren't interacting with her videos the way that she expected. She wasn't getting millions of views anymore, and for an influencer, that's the equivalent of someone spitting in your face. Oh, and by the way, she expressed this concern while wandering around her brand new Los Angeles mansion, wearing a full face of glam, crying because she can't figure out why her views have dropped. Because she links affordable products, always tries to make great content, and does a lot of giveaways, as if that isn't some sort of excuse to do a bunch of engagement farming. So you better buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to dissect this entire debacle. How Jaclyn Hill actually found herself in this situation and why people are finally done with out-of-touch influencers. It is impossible to overstate how tone-deaf this video sounded in the current economic climate. People are cutting back and budgeting more carefully, sure, but the fact of the matter is they are struggling to afford basic food staples, delaying medical bills, canceling holiday plans, and more. And yet here's another influencer wandering through her home that costs more than most people will ever make in their lifetime, complaining that her engagement rate is suffering even though she's doing everything right. She's really trying, guys.
It's like, okay, so my audience wasn't feeling the vibes of this video. That's fine. But I'm talking like when you have 1 million followers, but your videos are only getting 30,000 views, this is just not the way it used to be. Like when I started, it was so organic. Like you subscribe to the people that you like.
Jaclyn Hill posted a video wearing a $140 sweatshirt and a $500 plus Christmas tree where she is wondering where all of her viewers are. That her engagement is horrible. I need these influencers to know that the age of flaunting wealth and lacking authenticity is over. We're struggling out here and can't relate to y'all. And y'all can't read the room. This bothers me because how are you gonna complain to your audience? Complain about all that to your other rich friends, your influencer friends, and cry on your husband's shoulder for all I care. I just don't understand how she thought this would be received well. And the juxtaposition was just far too jarring to ignore. It was the final nail in the coffin. The biggest reminder that many of these influencers are living in another universe entirely. One where relatability is a performance and financial insecurity is an aesthetic choice they use for storytelling, just so they can get your money. The original video, which has now been stitched, duetted, reposted, and commented on thousands of times, shows her explaining that she doesn't understand why people aren't interacting with her content anymore because she really cares about sharing affordable Amazon finds and always tries to be helpful. What she doesn't acknowledge is her entire business model revolves around buying products solely for the purpose of linking them with affiliate codes, which are generating commissions for her, and then she immediately goes and returns them because she never used them in the first place. All over Reddit, you will find so many people clocking this exact same thing. This is a literal screenshot from one of her Instagram stories talking about how she loves these whitening strips and then just simply forgot to blank out that she had returned them like a year ago. Not to mention she doesn't even own them. She's showing them on a computer screen. And this cycle, which is deeply normalized within the influencer world, is just totally out of step with how people actually live today.
My God. Okay, so this right here is supposed to be like my daily / weekly makeup. This is not my whole makeup collection. I have a closet of makeup and then I have all this right here that needs its own separate organization. Don't get me started. But this is supposed to just be the makeup. I'm back, you guys. I'm standing in front of my beverage fridge, so you know what time it is. We've got to restock this entire thing. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. Once again, I have no makeup on.
I bought 2 bags, guys. Which one should I keep? My 2 bags. Jacqueline is so out of touch by saying she's not getting as much views anymore like she used to when this is her. Do you know I have referenced Jacqueline Hill on this channel a few times, and I've talked about her. I watched her all growing up. She said she's been on YouTube for 14 years. I used to watch 14 years ago. I think that's when I started watching her, in her OG days where she did makeup tutorials. That's why people started watching. They never came for this. They never did. Ever. The truth is, most people cannot afford to go and buy $200 worth of Amazon product just to try it on for the camera and then return it. Most people aren't living in a world where purchases are props for the camera and returns are just normal and routine. So the genuine reason why this entire video blew up is not because people wanted to cancel or mock another influencer. It's because this video finally solidified the irritation that people have been feeling about influencer culture for months. The economy is unstable. Prices are skyrocketing. I was at the grocery store. Why is an apple almost $6? Wages are stagnant. Housing is a dystopian nightmare. And these influencers are thriving more than ever. But they still have the gall to complain. Yeah, I get why everyone's tired of it. What are you complaining for? And when you start watching the TikToks of people responding to her, explaining how they've had to stretch their groceries for weeks, pointing out the privilege required to make content like hers, it's so deeply obvious that these influencers are not reading the room.
It's okay, guys. You don't have to keep saying you don't watch Jacqueline Hill anymore because she's unrelatable. Plenty of people are unrelatable. The difference between them and Jacqueline is they're entertaining. Jacqueline is boring. It's the same shit all the time. She's inauthentic. She lies, returns shit, gives you the commission link. She's out of touch. Oh, I was on food stamps. Okay, 13 years ago, you probably haven't thought about food stamps since last month when people were crying about not being able to feed their families. And you thought, how can I make this about me? No.
This energy needs to go to Michaela Nogueira. I second that. I think she also doesn't realize fame and fortune have an expiration date and her arc is done. I think another thing, you have to be able to show up and reinvent yourself again and again and again as a content creator. Think about all the OG beauty gurus from way back in the day. Think about Jackie Aina, Nikki Tutorials. What are they doing now? They are literally on TikTok making even better short form content than they did long form, still being relatable, teaching you how to do long wear makeup, literally just transferring everything they learned and did on YouTube and putting it somewhere else. You can't just copy all of this other BS and be lazy about it. You have to make content and do better. I think people forget that you have to earn it. You forgot 14 years ago when you popped off on YouTube because you did great makeup tutorials, you earned it. You need to earn it again. Also stands for nothing. People feel how inauthentic you are. It doesn't matter if you're trying to hide it or you're lying or you're posting a cute picture or you've spent a lot of money on shoes. If you're trying to sell something to us, I know it. I know it from the moment I look at your face on camera. That era is long gone. This isn't 2016 anymore. I have $26 for groceries tomorrow. You guys, this is insane. You know how we're all obsessed with skincare, anti-aging, and keeping ourselves looking and feeling gorgeous for as long as possible? Well, unfortunately, staying up late, drinking, and especially smoking are some of the fastest ways that you can age your skin. That's why I swapped what I reach for this instead. Fume. Fume, the sponsor of today's video, isn't a vape and it isn't an e-cig. It's flavored air. No vapor, no nicotine, no chemicals. Just natural food-grade ingredients that give you something satisfying to reach for without any of the downsides. Think of it like the herbal tea version of what used to be soda. And honestly, I just didn't expect to like it this much. The design feels super sleek in your hand, it's magnetic so you can fidget with it when you're stressed or bored, and it's portable. So you can honestly use it anywhere. My go-to flavor is crisp mint because it's refreshing and it also keeps me sharp throughout the day, but there are so many other types of flavors depending on your vibe. Over 700,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as a part of their habit change journey. So if you want to try it, now's the time, because when you order the journey pack with my code Lael Hansen, you get a free Fume topper. Just click the link in my description or scan the QR code on screen with your phone's camera to get yours today. Thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring today's video.
My name is Jacqueline and I am a Stanley-aholic. I fear I blacked out. Let's do a shoe haul. We are finally going to clean out my sneaker collection. I'm done. I'm back, you guys. I'm standing in front of my beverage fridge, so you know what.
It's the sunglasses for me.
Restock this entire thing. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. Once again, I have no makeup on. On a real note, I just feel like so much heavy stuff is going on behind the cameras in my life. This right here is supposed to be my daily/weekly makeup. This is not my whole makeup collection. Try caviar on McDonald's chicken nuggets. I saw Avery do this.
I mean, truly, this is the kind of gluttony that we see in the Bible. You ask your followers why you're not connecting with them anymore. why that you as someone who has millions of followers can't reach 30K views on a video? It's because District 12 is tired of watching District 1 spend their entire year's salary in one day and then hop on the internet and complain about it, stating, oh, well, you know what, I have too much stuff and I never use it, and oh, woe is me, such a burden. Anyways, let me package up some of my secondhand goods and send it out to you District 12 members. I mean, your whole entire content is about pushing hyper-consumption to people who can't even afford to feed themselves. No one is watching this stuff anymore. It might have worked, 10 years ago when you first started, but we've gotten into the day and age where absolutely anyone can become an influencer. Anyone can pick up their phone and start creating content. And people are now gravitating towards normal folk who represent their everyday life. And that's just not you. You're out of touch. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Hope this helps. Give me a follow, you want.
Nothing more Gen Z than hope this helps. We're bored with the overconsumption. People realize very quickly that buying things is not what makes you happy. It really is not. And you can just see how dull and lifeless this person's life is when you watch those videos. Shoes, cups, fridge, makeup. Like, there's nothing to that. And, when you surround yourself with enough rich influencer people and that's all you see and all you do, and I got the new Chanel bag and I got the new shoes and I got the new this, you stop realizing what it's like to be an average person and you become so far off from who your audience actually is that this is exactly what happens. Restock the completely full fridge. And why? But she's so relatable because she was in her pajamas this morning. Guys, I'm in a robe. There was a video that kind of hit a chord with me and I want to show it to you guys.
Today, I'm going to be going through my fall sweaters, and whatever I don't want, I'm going to give to you guys. Anytime I do a closet clean out video, I always get so many comments from you guys saying how much you would like certain items from my closet.
This honestly just really bothers me. You're gonna openly say how much you don't like your clothes, and I'm gonna give them all to you, my used clothes. I love crumbs from District 1. Whatever I don't like, I'll give to you guys. This is so tone deaf. Why don't you just donate it to charity? Just donate it. Why are your managers not stopping you? You need a new PR team. Should I keep this or donate it? And don't be selfish. What? I saw a comment, I can't find it right now, and it was literally like, thanks, Jacqueline. Of course, we all want your sloppy seconds clothes. Thanks, Jacqueline. We definitely want the clothes you don't want anymore. It's just sad. And it's not just the fact that influencers earn money in a way that feels more abstract to the average person. Part of the reason that this influencer's video felt so incredibly insulting is she framed her lack of engagement as if it was something her audience needed to fix, not like it was something that she needed to fix. You're the content creator? You figure it out. What? She complained that people aren't interacting enough, as if engagement is a moral obligation or a sign of loyalty instead of what the object truth is. That people will only engage if they find the content valuable and if they respect you and what you stand for. And this is where influencer culture becomes fundamentally delusional. Engagement and attention are not guaranteed. That's literally why having a career based around social media can be so difficult. Everything does rely on your audience. You don't have the same safety and stability as somebody that might have been working 10 years at a corporate firm. People don't owe influencers a career just because they follow them. If anything, the audience's decreasing engagement should be an invitation for that influencer to evolve. Maybe think critically or reassess their content strategy. I thought this was just what came with the job position. Instead of scolding their actual audience for not doing enough. And I'm sorry, you're just gonna casually throw 30,000 people under the rug as if they don't matter? 30,000 views is not enough for you? And this has all been happening with influencers so much that it is becoming a pattern.
This is a take that's going to make some people mad at me. But no matter what the cause is, you cannot guilt me into paying attention to a thing on the internet. If you skip this, then you don't care about cancer victims. If you skip this, then our animal shelter's going to fail and it'll be your fault. Okay, you're making me feel bad. I'm not going to interact with that.
This entire comment section that I'm reading from this video just goes to show how people are begging for real. They can tell when you're playing these games, you guys. Stop thinking that people are dumb and stop taking the people that support you for granted. That is just... that's just what it's like to be a normal, kind, maybe empathetic person. You guys all get into your big rich girl circles and you forget that the people that support you, that got you to the place that you're at, are normal, real people with hearts, feelings, families. They're important in their community, their social circles, and you're gonna treat them as if they don't matter, and you're gonna try and play these stupid games? Wait till the end. Don't scroll. Now that I have your attention, bye. You think that people don't realize what you're doing? You think that people, when they watch you, Jacqueline, post your Amazon link to the tackiest set I've ever seen, this tacky lounge set that I know for a fact you don't wear, that they don't know either? And it's disappointing when you watch somebody that started off being a small town girl, like making beautiful makeup tutorials with beautiful eyes, having a pure soul and a pure heart. Why did this happen? It's just sad. You really lost who you are. The broader issue is that influencers have adopted this bizarre belief that consistency alone equals entitlement. If they upload regularly, link products, and give recommendations, then they automatically deserve views. But the digital landscape has shifted dramatically. People's attention spans are stretched thin. Their stress levels are higher. Their financial anxiety has never been worse. And they are no longer willing to invest in influencers who treat their content as if it's some transactional exchange. And when they do, we can tell. I know you're inauthentic. I can feel it through the screen. And even compare that to some of the real, true, authentic influencers and YouTubers and content creators that are out there right now. Like, the difference is very vast. Influencers are asking their audience to show up with loyalty while offering absolutely nothing in return, beyond constant links and more products to buy and spend more money and put more money in my pocket. But there's a much deeper sociological factor that is driving a lot of this outrage to influencers, exactly like the one in this situation. What we're actually witnessing is something researchers have recently begun calling parasocial inversion, a phenomenon where the emotional power dynamic between creator and audience flips over time. Traditionally, parasocial relationships were defined by viewers developing one-sided relationships with somebody inaccessible, kind of like a performer, a celebrity, or now an influencer. But with social media, something destabilizing has happened. The creator now depends a lot more on the audience's emotional labor than the audience actually relies on the creator's content. And once that dependency reveals itself too intensely, the illusion totally breaks. In parasocial inversion, the influencer becomes the needy party. They begin relying on likes, comments, shares, watch time, and purchases, not just as metrics, but as sources of emotional validation, financial security, and identity reinforcement. Scholars have written extensively on how influencers are constantly experiencing this context collapse, meaning that they perform for millions, but then feel personally rejected when those millions don't respond in a way that they expect. The audience, meanwhile, actually senses this insane desperation, and that's exactly when the power flips. The viewer is no longer this starstruck follower. They become the emotional superior in the relationship. They have something that the influencer wants, something the influencer needs, and that's engagement.
I feel like parasocial relationships are discussed a lot from the part of the audience onto the celebrity or the influencer, the creator, but not so much on the part of the celebrity or the influencer to the audience. And when I say that, I mean that sometimes parasocial relationships are a two-way street, which sounds kind of contradictory, but what I'm talking about, which I feel like isn't heavily discussed, is the way that people play into parasocial relationships for money. People know that authenticity sells, or at least making it seem like you're authentic sells, and treating your audience like they're your friends and giving them personal information about your life and intimacy. People know that that's what sells, and it's true. Like on TikTok, if you post a video, especially about something personal, it does well. You know, people want to see real, raw, authentic, whatever. And the influencers and celebrities, they know that, and so they do things especially to try to create that connection, like calling their audience their best friend. The type of content on here, which is like, oh, it feels like you're on FaceTime with me, you know, saying to their audience, oh, I love you guys, you know, like how more parasocial can you get? But that aspect I feel like isn't discussed as much, and people discuss more the aspect of the audience crossing boundaries, finding out stuff about the creator, finding out things about celebrities showing up at their house. And I disagree with all of that, right? But what I'm saying is that oftentimes creators, influencers, celebrities, they will enable creating that kind of relationship, and then when it is not convenient for them, then they condemn it.
Respectfully, I was completely mesmerized by her lips. Like, I heard like a bit there, but like her lips are amazing. Her Cupid's bow is amazing. Jacqueline unintentionally exposed this inverted parasocial dynamic by making this video, and it really caused her own downfall, saying, I don't understand why you're not engaging with me. That sentence, stripped of all context, is the purest expression of an influencer completely dependent on their audience's emotional output. She wasn't talking to viewers like a creator speaking to her community. She was speaking like someone who was frustrated with her partner for not giving her enough attention.
Now that there is so much pushback against like lifestyle creators, ones that have really built an audience on being relatable but are no longer relatable, I think that we are going to see the rise of what I call anti-influencing. So part of my job is that I consult with like creators, celebrities, brands on where is the tide turning, like what do audiences care about? And I've seen this shift happening for a little bit, but I think part of it is because being an influencer is no longer new or exciting to an audience. Like, they've seen people do it before. The Viners moved to LA, you know, Emma Chamberlain, the Sister Squad, like that was when it was exciting. And that was back when influencers were still seen as the underdog. Now influencers aren't really like the underdog that you have to like root for because they're going against the machine. Now they kind of are the machine.
Just like how we always talk about with plastic surgery trends, this is the same pendulum. It will swing back and forth. What it wanted 4 years ago is different from what it wants today. When viewers saw this creator pacing around her luxury home, lamenting her engagement stats, they weren't reacting to wealth or privilege alone. They were reacting to the emotional overreach, the sense that she felt entitled to their continued attention. That entitlement shatters the foundation that parasocial bonds rely on. The creator believes that they're owed that engagement, then the viewer no longer becomes a supporter. They're just a resource to them, a tool, and then eventually nothing more than a couple sales for her Amazon commissions. Sociologists argue that when an audience detects emotional neediness from an influencer, they experience something called parasocial fatigue. This fatigue emerges when viewers feel emotionally burdened by a creator who is supposed to make their life lighter, maybe more enjoyable, and overall was just supposed to be a source of fun and entertainment. People already feel overwhelmed, stretched thin, burdened by work, bills, stressed out by money, and emotionally drained. The last thing that they possibly could want is to soothe the ego of somebody that is so incredibly wealthy and is sitting here crying about algorithmic attention. And that's why engagement rants never land the way influencers think that they will. They think that they'll be rewarded with sympathy, that their openness will make their viewers fall in love with them again, and they'll finally get all the views that they want. And you take a look at Jacqueline's page, oh, she's getting views all right, she's getting comments and engagement, not the good kind. But instead, influencers like Jacqueline Hill just shifted the emotional responsibility from the creator, who should be crafting content worth watching, to the audience, who now feels accused of neglect. And if you ask me, influencers kind of deserve it. They've been treating their audiences like real people, like glorified checks for years. And now that people are getting tired of it and breaking out of the bounds of parasocialism, they don't know what to do. I genuinely think that Jacqueline could crawl herself out of this one somehow if she just goes back to making good content. Whether she actually knows how to do that or not, I'll leave that up to her. I mean, after asking her followers what they want to see next, she started making more quote-unquote relatable tutorials, which have been a bit hit or miss.
Hi, so I posted a TikTok yesterday, and in this TikTok I was talking about just being a content creator for the last 14 years and how I've watched these apps just change and how I really feel like TikTok specifically like punishes you for not posting, and then like if you don't post a video for a week or two, they put you like in TikTok jail, is like what I consider it. The comment section has taken such a turn, and I'm listening. Like, I've been laying here in bed for the last 30 minutes reading these comments, because when I first posted the video yesterday, the comment section kind of went a different direction, and at first I was like, wait, no, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not talking about like my content, I'm talking about the app. But now there's like, I think 2,000 comments, and I'm like, okay, my ears are open, I'm listening, I'm reading your comments. You guys are saying that like you're sick of the influencer era, you're sick of the shit, you're sick of the luxury. And so my question to you guys is like, what is it that you want to see? Like, I started this.
We are literally entering an era where influencers that are out of touch are forced to see the light of reality. And let's be for real, it's been a long time coming. Michaela, you're next. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please throw it a big fat thumbs up and also comment down below. Have you guys noticed this exact same pattern with other influencers you guys are watching? I honestly don't want to put too much of this on me at all because we are talking about a very specific topic, but I've been making content since I was 18. I'm 28 now. And the truth is you always have to evolve. And I would never try to put that on another person when like, this is my job. I chose to do this. If people don't want to watch, that has nothing to do with them and has everything to do with my content. How can I be better? How can I work harder? Shifting the blame on someone else, especially somebody that doesn't have this same kind of career, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And thank you again to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Just click the link in my description or scan the QR code on screen to grab yours today. If you guys enjoyed this video, you can go ahead and click here to find out how overconsumption is absolutely destroying your life, and you know who's to blame. These influencers, guys. Stop watching and you will stop buying all this random Amazon BS. Or you guys can click here to watch my deep dive all about Ozempic influencers, and I talk a lot about Jacqueline and her little Ozempic use and her talking about it or lying about it, or I don't know. We deep dive into it in that one. You guys know I only make these videos because I love you and I truly want the best for you. I hope you have an amazing day or night or whenever you're watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.